What is a breadboard?
It's a breadboard.
Not this breadboard, I mean this breadboard. In this video, we will explain what is a breadboard, what is inside it, and how to use it. A breadboard is simply a board for prototyping or building circuits on. It allows you to place components and connections on the board to make circuits without soldering. It consists of a rectangular plastic platform covered with multiple rows of small and densely packed holes. These holes are intended for the metal contact pins, leads or legs of various compatible electronic components to be pushed into. They make contact with conductive metal strips running around the inside of the breadboard unit.
What are the terminal strips?
Terminal strips make up the rows of the breadboard. 5 holes in each row. Each hole is electrically connected to the other holes in the row. Inside the breadboard, the terminals have a clip that grips the legs or wire you put into the hole.
How are the holes arranged?
Most of a breadboard's area is made up of the rows and columns where components can be placed. Typically, there is a column with a row of 5 holes on one half, or ravine or split in the breadboard, and another column of 5 holes on the second half, disregarding the power rails.
And what are the power rails?
Power rails are rows of connections running vertically along the breadboard intended to connect to the power supply. Since they often run along the length of the board, it is easy to power all the devices on the board with neat short connections instead of a lot of long connections strung out over the board.
How to use a breadboard?
The nature of circuit building inherently dictates that there is no one correct method for how to use a breadboard. But there are some incorrect ways. In the following, we mention some rules of thumb for the correct use of the breadboard. 1. A component with legs on different rows is able to make 4 other connections per leg to other wires or components. Be careful! A component placed with both legs on the same row is shorted. 2. It's common to use the columns on the left and right for connecting the power supply. So, if you connect 5 volts to the top hole of one of the side columns, you will have 5 volts in all the holes of this column. Use the columns marked with a red line for plus and the column marked with a blue line for minus. 3. For some electronic components, direction matters. Some components, like LEDs, have polarity, meaning they have a positive side and a negative side that must be connected correctly. 4. Some components, such as LEDs, cannot be directly connected to the power supply, as they may burn out. Use a resistor to limit the current. 5. The ravine allows for dip or dual inline package components to be placed on the breadboard without connecting the pins of the dip together, as well as have the proper spacing to attach to the board.
Wow, breadboard is a very useful tool.
Yes! If this video was useful for you and you want to see more videos, subscribe to our channel now. Thank you!